Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another exciting day in Empires and Puzzles, and this time around has brought us back to the Shadow Summon. They did, of course, include a brand new hero in Emilie? Anyway, regardless of what you want to call her, let's go ahead and take a look at what this new Insanity hero has to bring. First off, she's of the Cleric class, which is a very solid class. You can never complain about Cleric as a role for a character class. In the family bonus, we have ourselves the Institute family. This is going to give them a family bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes, and it will add 5, 9, or 13% increased mana generation, 20, 30, and 40% increased health. This is interesting. Like, it's not a amazing ability, but it is helpful. It's quite a health boost, and mana generation is nice, but I don't know. Honestly, stacking that many Insanity characters always worries me for a party, so it's kind of a mixed bag to go after this family bonus. Next up, we have Eldritch Pack as a passive. Basically, it just says that this character has a chance when they die to turn into a Eldritch Heist, or whatever it turns into. The point is, per 5 insanity, it gets 5% per 10 insanity for a max of 50% chance to turn into this eldritch creature upon death. This creature is going to have the inherited stats that you see there: 100% inherited health, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, and the special skill, the Eldritch Bright. Not exactly the most exciting ability, but it is interesting. I guess, it's nice to not necessarily completely lose the character and have him come back as something. It's better than nothing. All right, in the Aether power department, we have damage reduction. This is going to reduce the damage that this character takes by 10% across the board for the first 6 turns. It does make them slightly more tanky, which could be helpful considering this character looks to be operating at slow speed with Endless Maze. It says, Endless Maze casts full removal on the target. The target shifts into Abyssal Ghost form for 5 turns. While in Abyssal Ghost form, the target receives 319 damage per turn. When Abyssal Ghost form expires, it's going to deal 1200 damage to allies and inflict 15 insanity on them. So when it says it does that to allies, it means allies of the person that's ghosted, mind you. So like the opposing team will be ghosted for those turns, and then 5 turns, sorry. And then after those 5 turns, it's going to come back, do 1200 damage to them, and give them all 15 insanity. It will also inflict 50 insanity on the caster. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to kind of dig into there. First of all, when we talk about this on the whole, my initial opinion is this is another miss from the Insanity family characters, and I'll explain why. We could go into it and all of that fun stuff. So this character is operating at slow speed. Anytime you've ghosted someone, like, it's kind of a weird approach to how you handle things in this game, and it has always operated at a somewhat reasonable speed before. I am not certain that I see the value in removing one target at slow speed for 5 turns. Does that make sense? Like, first of all, it takes you a long time to get up there. Once you do get up there, you can only remove a singular target. And when you do remove them, they are gone for 5 turns, and that is helpful. But operating at slow speed is not going to allow her to counter anything like Bernadette or, some other, like Gurik or something like that. You're not going to most likely get it off first. You're going to have to wait until after they've had their effects on the opposing team, and that's just not great. The amount of damage it does, 319 damage per turn over 5 turns, is 1500 damage. So, like, if the character was remotely at full health, you're probably not killing it, right? So that's not amazing. And when he returns, I can't quite tell, but when he returns, he deals 1200 damage to all allies and inflicts 15 insanity on them. So it seems like that 1200 damage will not, I repeat, will not apply to this character, to the character who was actually ghosted himself. So when he returns, he won't take that additional 1200 damage. All his allies will. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it does enough. Not operating at slow speed for this to be of much value. She's also inflicting 50 insanity on herself and inflicting 15 insanity on whoever may remain upon this character's return. But if you think about the fact that this is slow to begin with, then ghost someone for 5 turns, this may not go off until turn, I don't know, what, like 12 or 13 or something like that. The point is, like, who's still alive at that point? Most likely you've killed at least a few of them, right? So let's say they're down to like 3. Then you're going to do 1200 damage to 2 of those 3 and inflict a total of like 30 insanity, I guess. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm reading this wrong. Maybe the damage that she does will do 1200 to the original target when it returns and do insanity too. It doesn't I don't know, it doesn't feel like that when I'm reading this, but it's kind of hard to understand. Again, it's a little bit complicated, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But long story short, even discussing the pros and cons of this, operating at slow speed is kind of crazy. Like, let her do this at average. I don't think it would be overpowered at average, but at slow, it definitely seems just too weak to really be excited about. I think you'd just be much more suited giving yourself someone that does some sort of more immediate effect. The removal and gone for 5 turns and stuff could be useful, but other than that, she just sits there, right? She just sits in your party, absorbing damage, not really helping you in a ton of ways. I'm just not sold on her as a character. So when we do the rating, let's just go ahead and get that done. We'll give this character a 7 out of 10. And the reason I'm going to give her a 7 is I think she probably is average. She might even be below average, but I think there are some tricksy ways that you could use her ability that might be somewhat interesting. I would probably like max out her defensive stats and try to create some sort of weird tanking strategy with her. But even then, because she casts Insanity, you have to worry about whether or not she'll backfire and affect your own team. But if you stack a couple fast healers with her, make her your tank, like I guess I could see a world where you can clear off the Insanity enough that she's only affecting the enemy team, because it takes a long time to rebuild that slow effect. But you're gambling, and I just don't think that the payoff is worth the risk when it comes to this particular character's gamble. So there you go, 7 out of 10. Not the most exciting one. Definitely wouldn't chase her. If you do pull her, she can be interesting, but I think you need the right supporting characters to make her even think about being viable. So just keep that in mind when you are moving forward. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.